Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The revision of the schedule, the revision of the day of the week, and with limited time left in this season, it's not Laguna Seca, it's Michigan. The IndyCar Series here. KAYTEE. Top tier racing here for Mystic iRacing League as the IndyCar Series gets set in the Irish Hills up north. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, with camera packs provided by Dougie Beard as we get set for my second rendition of the IndyCar Series here. Last week, we watched a rather rough one at Richmond Raceway and looked like drivers struggled, but this car should do well here. Multi-groove racing in every venue, in every format, every way that you can get around this place. I know it's going to be an exciting one. I hope you guys are as excited as I am to bring you flag-to-flag coverage here tonight. Taking a look at Michigan International. This racetrack opened back in 1968, and it's one of the fastest racetracks that we'll ever come to. 2 miles in length, 18 degrees of banking, progressive banking. These drivers will have a lot of aero, and it's going to be a lot of drafting. You're going to see a dragon tail down the backstretch as these guys try to break that drafted and try to get the advantage, but it's going to be a lot of running, a lot of 3 wide, with qualifying just finishing up here and getting ready to grid. I think this is going to be a good one. Of course, that's the schedule has been revised, and with that, Milwaukee Mile will not be next week. We'll have a double header at Daytona where we run the road course and the oval. Hope you guys are as excited for that as you are for Michigan. Just add a half a mile to your excitement. But now it's time to talk about that grid, and starting on the top spot, it's the guy that lost the victory last week with a restart violation. Kirkenbauer is going to start with a 32.069, just about 0.02 of a second faster than Lindenworth. Lindworth going to start in the 99 in second spot. John Stellard and Lilac Zier will start in 4th position. Then you go back to Mark Comany, going to start in 5th spot. Stephen Hawthorne starting 6th. Row number 4 with Christian Leonard. Michael Wade starting in 8th. And rounding out your top 10 is John Ullman. Michael Daly will start in 10th. 11th spot's going to go to Steven Adamson. Reggie Kime will start in 12th, 13th spot with race control there. Of course, that's going to be actually the driver of the number 17. I have the name here. I'm going to make sure I get that correct. Dylan Brumley, who's labeled as race control here tonight. So Brumley in the number 17. Jonathan Kashiri is going to start in 14th spot. And then you go to Mason Mitchum, electing not to take a time. Wesley Burke in 16th, 17th with Corey Kobe. Devin Lyon in 18th. And rounding out your field there in that 18th position. Keys to victory tonight is their 5. It's going to be a lot of 3 wide, a lot of big runs down the backstretch. Birkenbauer does not have this cut out for him. Even though you're the fastest car, you're going to have cars behind you drafting up. That suck that we talk about, especially in this IndyCar where it's so aero dependent. You got those rear spoilers that cut a lot of drag on the back of these cars. When you get behind somebody, you're going to pull up. Double checking something really fast. We're going to add 1 lap here this evening, and that gives us an opportunity to pull a driver into the broadcast booth. So why not? Let's pull up the driver, the number 54, Michael. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Michael, this racetrack is never a given. You're going to draft a lot. We're going to be pulling up on one another. Every time you get a position gained, you could get a position lost off the exit. What's it going to take to win here tonight?
Honestly, what's it going to take? It's going to take a lot of drafting, a lot of racecraft. These cars are really fast, so a wreck could literally end your whole day.
Got that faster pair in the back pocket. Don't want to burn it too early. We go here for 100 laps. Good luck here. Anybody you want to shout out real quick?
I want to shout out my parents. I know they're watching. I hope they enjoy this. I also want to shout out you guys. You guys are the main stars of this show.
Main star of the show. We are nothing without the drivers and the people watching. We appreciate you coming up here. Good luck.
Thank you.
The Daily starting in the 10th position. And you know, any other place we went to, like Richmond last week, that would have been a long one, trying to get around and with the way that car was handling in the dirty air. But here, it's going to be a different ballgame entirely. We're swinging for the fences here, and hopefully these cars can keep it off the fences. Lots of racecraft. As Michael mentioned, it's going to take a lot to keep this car off the wall. But here we go. My second race for the IndyCar Series in Mystic. Green flag is out at Michigan. Birkenbauer loses the lead. John Stellard's going to come by in the VRL. Number 5. He's going to try to lead lap number 1. Birkenbauer is going to get to the inside, and he will lead the first lap by just 1,000th of a second. Just barely. Maybe they gave it to Stellar there. It's still trying to figure it out. So John Stellar did lead that first lap, but across that line, it was close, and already a breakaway of about 6 cars. Little trouble on the restart. Go back there to Marcomini. I'm going to try to get this right. Ezekiel Marcomini. So there's a gap back here from him to Michael Wade. As they're side by side, it's Michael Daly who's already picked up 3 spots, but it's a long road to get up there. Here, looking off the front, that's 1.6 seconds back for the 54 that we just talked to in the pre-race. Need some drafting help from Michael Wade if they want any shot to get up there. And you got Mason Mitchum, John Ullman going side by side. Just behind that, cars barely off the wall. Here comes the 9 to the inside. That's Kime. Reggie Kime racing right next to your race control in other series. That's Brumley in the 17. So anytime you see 17 control, that's Brumley. And race control, controlling the race, picking up spots. And right here you can see 230 miles per hour almost going into the corner. A little lift off the throttle for Brumley as we ride around. Trying to work their way back closer to that top 6. Kirkenbauer got back around the 5 to take the lead. It's now been 4 laps led. Teammates there going to work together as they try to break away. Clean and green so far. Problems for the 17th, falls back to 13th. Ullman working the outside. Again, Michael Wade in the 9th position. They have a little bit of a 3-car breakaway here, and it's Clinworth who's going to get to the inside to take the lead. We'll take it back on a replay and show you what happened there for this lead pass. Watch this run coming off of turn 2. He's going to get to the inside of the 5 really quickly. It's that drive up the racetrack and then a crossover move. It's going to send the momentum into turn 1. Just so much speed there for the 99 to take it over. But competing again for the lead. Kirkenbauer didn't like that. Wants it back. Got the big run. And coming by for lap number 8, it'll be the 10 again. Happens so quickly here. You already see back on offense for the 99. Clinworth always going to take that run. No reason to lift off the throttle. If they open up that door, you'll see those doors start to close later in this race. Guys are going to get a little more aggressive with breaking that draft. They're not going to give these drivers the benefit of the doubt. And that'll happen repeatedly here in these next 90 laps. Trade back and forth. Clinworth back to the front. The 10 of Kirkenbauer falls back. The 5 of Stellar, who led the first lap just barely. Riding in 3rd. Hawthorne, Zier, Marcomini. We're going to get this right, I swear. Matias? I apologize if I'm butchering that name there in the 77. You folks at home can read this as you see fit, but Ezekiel, I can pronounce. As crazy as that is, having a Z and a Q in your name. Marcomini sounds like the way you should say it on board with the 77. We're now just riding around 230 miles per hour roughly. Going to get a really big head of steam here. 235 probably before we hit turn 1. My telemetry can't even handle it. Another dive to the inside, back and forth between these 3 VRL cars. Kirkenbauer going to lead another lap. Comes by. Now 11 led. And we're almost looking 3 wide. That's Lilac Zier on the bottom. The lilac color number 89. Starting to flirt with the top 3. Stellar just ahead. VRL has controlled it, but a caution is out. The car off the racetrack. Some heavy damage on the right front. Not going to be able to turn that car. Do the best you can there, Leonard. Christian Leonard in the 2. Caution's out for the first time today. The 14 behind the 2. Oh, it just came up the racetrack. Destroyed the right front of that car. The tire reattaches itself here. One more time on board with the 2. Destroyed on the right front. Instant. And that's a surprise. The 14 at fault there. It says 14 on the side of that car. The down pit road is actually the 24 of Devin Lyon. It's a 24 machine that got into him. You can see limping it back around the track. Lyon's going to get a black flag here for coming up the racetrack. And it's Kirkenbauer down and away. The Clintonworth is going to end up with the lead here. After this cycle of pit road, Kirkenbauer loses 2 spots out of this. The execution for the 99 and the 5 to get ahead of the 10. All teammates should work out all right. But don't go anywhere. More coverage continues. The KAYTEE IndyCar Series Mystic iRacing League.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
It's too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa. Juicy Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to Michigan, where we're watching the top three and the snake down the backstretch. Already trying to get back to the top spot. You had Flindworth, who got the lead on pit road, already relinquishes it to Kirkenbauer in the 10. It's Lilac Zier looking to the inside in the 89 for third spot here on this restart. Just a lap in. Welcome back here. Ron Stellar, who started on the pole, trying to get back to that top spot. Problems in the back of the field. It's going to be Corey Kobe around into the wall. We also have Jonathan Gashiri in the 8 with a face plant. Destroyed on that nose. And already back under yellow for the second time today on lap 18. Watching the lap prior down the backstretch to set this all up. Yashiri's going to get the black flag here. They got really close between the 8. They're in the background. Keep an eye on this M&M's Delara. There's the contact, moves him up the racetrack, bounces the wall. There's a meatball flag for the 8. Watch it one more time from our blimp camera. See the big run here that the 8's going to get. There's the contact into the wall down the backstretch. Car's trying to avoid it. 4 or 5 guys down to the inside. See if I can get a look at who that was that went to the bottom of the racetrack. I want to say it was Reggie Kime and a couple others. Kime actually in the 9, getting the worst end of this. Just out of nowhere, into the wall. Ullman goes down there as well. Daly turned around the wrong direction. So not a great start here. And a few faster pairs are going to get burned on this very early caution. Just around the quarter of the way through. It's been a rough start for a lot of these drivers. While we have a moment to pull some of these drivers into the broadcast booth. He's labeled as race control, but it's Dylan Brumley in the number 17. Do you got a copy?
I do, sir.
Well, race control is one word for it, but you are controlling your destiny right now. Started in 13th. You're up to 4th. On this restart, though, this is the first time in the top 5. How does the car feel so far?
It is extremely tight in this air. As much as I hate to say this, I am on my way to the back of the field after that. So, gotta work our way back up through these, some of these drivers.
So race control had to race control themselves, is what you're saying?
Yeah, had to get sent to the rear, but it won't take much to get past some of these fellas out here on the track.
Now, we go back to the beginning of this race, and, you know, the weather, track conditions, that could be a factor as well. How is that affecting the handling of this car?
Really just going to have to do some work with the driving line, really. Throttle control is a big thing. You really can't take it full throttle like you think you could. But hopefully we can keep the car in one piece till the end of the race. Hopefully.
Well, I can tell you this, they're very fragile, but you're able to keep that faster pair in your back pocket. Dylan, is there anybody you want to shout out real quick while we have you up here?
Let's go ahead and give a big old shout out to the league owner, Brandon Willard. He works very hard to get everybody here, and we have a great field tonight. So he's a big person to thank.
There you go. Rumley, we'll put you back down there.
All right, thank you.
Getting a restart to the back of the field. So we're lined up single file restarts here. 65% fuel. We didn't put it up on the graphic there at the start of this race, but 100 laps. Pit road speed limit. 4 tire sets available here on that 55 mile per hour entry to pit road. 1 fast repair. These drivers have burned a couple. We get set to go back green. It's Kirkenbauer who lost the victory at Indianapolis, looking to rebound from that. Lilac Zier on the 2nd spot. Back underway at Michigan. Down the backstretch, left out to dry. Kirkenbauer is going to fall back just a little bit. Has the inside, but it's not going to matter much with that surge ahead. Lilac Zier going to take the lead. Not for long, though. Flintworth going to look to the left. 89 pulls ahead just briefly. We also have the 10 getting some help on the bottom line. I believe that's Michael Wade who was all over the back end. And look at the run for the lead. Hawthorne for the first time today. Look at the 18 surge ahead by about 3/10. Definitely going to lead this time around. Now, if you're Hawthorne, you know that these cars are going to link back up, catch back up to you, but you got the lap led a quarter of the way through this race. It's the first peak at the lead for the 18. Still a long road to go. Christian Leonard, who had damage earlier, already looking for the top 3. Dives to the inside, and the 2 will now put it in P2. Zier back to 3rd. Wade. Flintworth. The race that was controlled by these VRL drivers now starting to fall apart a little bit. Riding on board with Kirkenbauer. Kirkenbauer has led the most laps so far in this race, but not by much. With Hawthorne up front, we're single file all the way down the front stretch into the tri-oval. Peek to the inside. That's Mitchum, I believe, on the outside line. Mason Mitchum trying to get up there to the teammates, ends up falling back to 3rd. On that inside line, you hear the shift up to 6th gear. Trying to figure out where exactly they want to be. '18 of Hawthorne still on the top spot. Not by much. We'll look off the back end. Another lap led for the 18. Menard, Michael Wade shuffle around for the lead. Hawthorne going to hold on to it for the time being. Car a little bit off the pace there on the bottom. I believe that was Reggie Kime that they just stormed past. 18 still has some company. Inside move here by Michael Daly, we talked to in the pre-race. Little car contact. Gonna fit the hole right here. No, we're gonna continue the run into 3 and 4. Can the 54 take over the lead? Aggressive side draft. Take it over on lap 30. Daly with the first lap led. Big surge ahead, but you get out there on no man's land all by yourself. Everyone's going to pull back up to you on the entry of 3 and 4. Going to take something dramatic and something unique as we watch Michael Wade look to the inside for second spot. All over the left-hand side of Hawthorne. They pull back up. A block to the inside. We're going to take it 3 wide into 1. Eighteen of Hawthorne looking to take the lead back. It's very quick here. You get that run, that dirty air. You see everybody lifting off the throttle. A block to the inside. Going to make them take the high line. Daly doing what he needs to do to hold on to this top spot. A wise decision. It gets him a good surge here down the backstretch. 18 still trying to figure out a way around on Michael Wade. And the dominant teammates lagging back here. The Stellard, Kirkenbauer back in 7th spot. We single file out for the most part. Stellard getting tired of waiting. Gonna look to the outside. Doesn't have the run on the 2. Leonard. Daly back to the lead for the time being. Controlling this pace back and forth. Hawthorne, Wade. Back to the drawing board. 24 down pit road. Damage. Gonna take it back on a replay and find out what happened. 24 got down and away after some damage repair right around lap 32. Gonna try to bring it back out on the racetrack, and I think continuing to have problems. Remember the 24 heavily damaged on that right front. Realized the car was not going to handle the black flag for entering the racetrack a little bit early. Now back out there. Battle for the race lead still continuing between the 54 and the 33. Oh, contact there. An early cut. That was Daly that jumped up in front of the 18 of Hawthorne. Hawthorne cut him a break. Cross the line just barely. We're going to give that one to Wade, but just by microseconds. Lead back and forth. Approaching the halfway mark. This 2-mile oval, high speed, 220 plus miles per hour. and the entire field drafting back up here. Almost some contact there for second place. Michael Wade drops down just behind Michael Hawthorne. We saw some aggressive moves there in that second spot just a moment ago. Kirkenbauer trying to get back to the top spot. Remember, led 16 of the first 20 laps. Went back and forth with their pole sitter and those teammates in the 5. Stellar trying to find a way around the 2 of Leonard. Hawthorne in 3rd. They're snaking back and forth down the backstretch. Move to the inside by race control. Brumley to the bottom. Watch the speed through 1 and 2. 212 miles per hour on the apex of that corner. And drafting down the backstretch at 232 miles per hour. We compare the reflexes of these drivers to fighter pilots. You have to be on point every single lap. You're going to get those runs. You're going to get the big head of steam. It's where you take it. As we see Hawthorne take it to the outside in 1 and 2. Up to second spot. Gets around Wade. Car off the racetrack in the background. I believe that's the 17. And again, talking about reflexes, here we go. On board. Watch this. Looks even more impressive from the TV angle. Watch this. Down the back straightaway. That slight brush with the wall. And not overcorrecting it, but a slight mistake there by Brumley. Look at that. Falls all the way back here to 11th position. The car's still on the lead lap with Daly back 10 seconds. Still have 13 cars, 14 cars on the racetrack. It's Reggie Kime as we'll watch Kirkenbauer out of nowhere take the lead. While we're on that commercial or on that replay, watch this for the 10. Out of nowhere, just storms through it. Blimp camera's going to do this justice. Cars on the inside looking for pit road. You're not going to break my momentum. I'm going to take draft off of the 5. I'm going to take draft off the 2. I'm going to go all the way to the front. How about that? Rocket ship here for Kirkenbauer. Just sitting back, saving the tires. And the 2 cars that hit pit road, the 17 is down there. Michael Wade, Michael Daly. Now we're going to snake the draft, trying to break it up from Stellar. Look for the lead here from the 5. To the high line in 1 and 2. Remember, teammates probably communicating what can we do to break away from this pack. I like Zier trying to break that up. The tandem between the 5 and the 10. Car coming down pit road looks like the 2. So pit stops right around this halfway mark. Long pit road. Have to be careful not to speed on the exit. The 5 of Stellar looks again. .6 in the box for the 2. A downshift to 5th gear to get the car to rotate. Gonna get a big head of steam. 0 just behind. And coming down pit road for the 5 and the 10. Now quickly you have to get down to 55 miles per hour. Glenworth in the 99. Takes back the top position, has Mitchum just behind. But expect these two to come down pit road this time. So a few more takers on pit lane with the 99. Kirkenbauer back out on the racetrack, gonna take the lead back over after these green flag pit stops. You've seen a variety of everything with a couple cautions and 11 lead changes. Halfway through, perfect opportunity to find those volume knobs here on V-Speed. Let's hear the sights and sounds of these Indy cars rolling around at Michigan. 56 underway as we heard the roar of these V6 engines rip around. Michigan International, John Steller going to take over the lead. These VRL teammates have went back and forth. Kirkenbauer falls back to 5th. Stephen Hawthorne, kind of the asterisks in all of this group. The teammates working together as you watch the 18 trying to overcome that. A breakaway of 8 cars. 77. Marcomeni has broke away from Corey Kobe. But back here, deeper into this field, you also have a lap car. I believe that is Reggie Kime in the 9, 2 laps down. Steven Adamson will be the free pass position if we get a caution. But problems back here. The 99 has set sail a little bit. Zier is going to look to the inside. The check up there is Hawthorne's going to look to the right of the 5. There's a little check up there. And Lilac Zier going to lead some laps now. Second one today for her in the 89. Drop back about half a second. It surges back. 99 going to try catch back up. Mile looks left. Gonna take it to the bottom in 3 and 4. Will it be enough? What a surge of speed there. Look at this gap. The runs keep getting bigger and bigger as we run through 61 laps. 122 miles complete out of 200. Michigan International has not disappointed. Coming off of turn 4, going to hold the lead. The 99 another lap led. But the top 8 still right on top of one another. You're going to have green flag pit stops coming up here within the next 5 laps or so. This car's burning fuel at 230 plus miles per hour. Dive to the inside. A little bit off there on the exit of turn 2. What happened to Clinworth? It was a good run there, but just had to keep it down on the bottom of the racetrack, and there's where all the momentum is lost. Zier back to the front spot. And just like that, the 89 holding the top spot. Steller gonna get the surge. This is always back and forth that we talked about in this race. It's going to be big run after big run, and whoever times it right at the end of this race. Execution on pit road can split these drivers up. You can get a big advantage. Right now, it looks like 7-car, 8-car tandems. And creeping back into the picture, you have a few drivers that are a lap down that are mixing it up here just behind that. Believe that's Addington, yes, and the 81, 1 lap down. Looking to guarantee that free pass. Car getting one of those laps back the old-fashioned way as Reggie Kime takes over. One lap down now for the 9. So that's a long way to go back around to get ahead of Addington, but this does help. We have the lucky pass and we have a free pass position. If all these leaders come down pit road, the 9 will only have to gain one of those laps back. So right now leading the pack, but your actual leader is Lilac Zier in the 89. This could help Zier keep it ahead of Stellar. Wait and see how this all works out. Checking in with your top 5, there's Clintworth in the 99, Christian Leonard in the 2. There's Stephen Hawthorne for that 5th spot with Kirkenbauer all over the back end. Mason Mitchum in 7th position. Mark Minnie in the 77. I lost the draft a little bit here, right on board. You can see the speed a little bit down compared to what some of these other drivers were running 220 plus, just tipping over that iceberg into 3. And it'll take a while to catch back up. Mason Mitchum falls back a little bit. You gotta keep that draft. That's where you can lose this pack. Seen it in a few drivers. Michael Daly a lap down. Problems for race control as well. 17 off of pit road. Not sure if that's a scheduled stop or not for the 17. Brumley trying to get back into this race. Zier will continue to lead laps by about 1/10 of a second. Coming up on the final quarter of this race. 6, 7 laps before we get to that. And yes, I did that. I just did that. Not intentional. Brandon Willard, if you want to fire me, I understand. We have to entertain ourselves up here on V-Speed when we're alone in the booth. But we're not alone. Dougie Beard providing the custom camera packs here tonight. The best cameras. Best damn cams in iRacing. Check us out. vspeedsim.com. It's getting a little crazier for the lead. Here comes the 10 out of nowhere. He saved the tires earlier in this race, and Kirkenbauer at will can just go up to the front. What a run through the tri-oval. A surprise for another 5 positions gain. Indy has been fast in this IndyCar. Doing whatever it takes at any given time back to the top spot. Pole sitter here for the 10. Outside the front row is John Steller. Actually, second row there. Your second place starter is Clintworth. So all these VRL drivers had it figured out today. They've been the class of the field, and it's everyone else against them. Trying to snake the draft and break it up there. Zier's going to get the run, though, off of turn 2. Just like that, the 10's going to go back in time. Will we see a pit stop? Not this time around, but the 2 will come down. The Christian Leonard going to be the first to break this up in the top 7. Or just behind of Mark Ameni in the 77. It stops now for the final stop of the day. I like Zier going to bring it down. So is the 5 of Stellar. Stellar, great entry there. The 10 also into pit road. No, I take that back. That's actually Corey Kobe. Very similar paint scheme. I apologize, Corey. Gonna bring it in, hit the stall. And it looks like 4 tires for all these drivers. As fast as these pit stops happen, no reason to take fuel only. Down and away for the 86 in the background here. To watch the 5 and the 89. The 10 down pit road now. Erkenbauer looking to rebound from Richmond after the victory on that restart violation taken away. Dominated the entire race. For the most part, it was the 10. Very quick stop. 7.9 in the box. Zier going to get to the outside. 8.4, 32.2 down pit lane. They're going to get a big jump here, but hopefully, if you're the 10, you're hoping that these drivers around you will work together. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. The 2 of Leonard not willing to help this time will drop back behind Erkenbauer. And pit stops with Mitchum down. Zier, the leader. Mitchum, the last one into pit lane for these green flag stops. Also have some drivers on a mixed strategy, trying to get back on the lead lap. Daly got back up there. Race control there with Brumley. Steve Addington 1 lap down in the 81. You have Kime 2 laps down in the background in 13th position. Michael Wade, Devin Lyons, Jonathan Gajiri, John Ullman still stuck on pit lane, and Wesley Burke in the 7 out of this race. Stiller trying to take it away. Here comes the 10. Erkenbauer just has it figured out. And a wreck in the background. That's Hawthorne into the wall. Caution's out with 20 to go. The 18 is going to have to burn that fast repair. Late race caution. And that's going to reset the field. Mark Ameni also involved. Let's see what happened to the 18 and the 77. It's a push up the racetrack by, I believe that's the 9 of Kime. I take that back. It was not Kime. I'm going to back this up one more time. I believe that's the 3 of Mitchum. Let's watch it from our blimp camera. NMG 715, I just want you to know where I'm coming from on that. I get a lot of trolls here recently, and when you're successful, when you climb that mountain, when you get to the top, when you put on the best show on iRacing, sometimes people want to bring it down and say that what we do doesn't matter. And so I just saw that, read that. I want you to know that that was not directed at you personally. We do get a lot of trolls, and I myself can be a troll from time to time. So I thought the only equal strategy is to make them as uncomfortable as you are in that moment. And if you can get them to back up, then you win. That's how I handle it. And so when I read that, I apologize. But participating in this race, when you have a name in MG, I gotta know who you were on the racetrack, right? Not a clue here. So we approach 15 to go. But just know, you made my day. You did make my day. It was a comment that I read. Maybe I took it the wrong way. So I was excited. I was like, okay, here we go again. I was there for it. Just know that that was probably the most exciting part of my Monday here. Up until we get to the last lap of this race. Once we get to the white flag, whatever you said doesn't matter. But I will say, we appreciate everybody that comes out. I'm glad that you took it lightly. Again, if I had a redacted button and I could just blank it all out, just do some psyops and like it never happened. Get the NSA in here. We'll get that taken care of right now. Pace car is going to pull off single file restart. We had some cars pull it down pit road, burning those last sets of tires, and we'll restart with 17 laps left for Michigan. Back underway in the KAYTEE IndyCar Series, presented by Mystic iRacing League. It's the 10 of Kirkenbauer trying to rebound from Richmond. Lilac Zier, who got a podium. The 5 of Stellar looks to the inside. Here comes all the VRL teammates to try to make this a 1-2-3. Three wide for the top spot. On the bottom for the 10. A push up the racetrack. The 99 takes advantage of it. Clintonworth to the bottom. A surge ahead. There's the lead for the 99. Zier sitting back patiently. 15 to go when we cross the stripe. How much longer do you want to wait? You're running out of time? And you don't want to let these VRL cars dictate the outcome, but it seems like right now they're fighting amongst themselves. This might be hurting them. This is definitely going to break the momentum. Stellar with the lead down the back stretch. 3 wide again into 3 and 4. 99 with the top spot. Zier and Hawthorne lagging back here a little bit. Here comes the 18, though, with a big run to the outside of the 10. 4 wide into 3. You can tell this race is coming down to the end because these moves are getting more and more desperate. Look at this big run from the 2. The Christian Leonard. Zier on the bottom. The 18 of Hawthorne had the lead briefly. Big shift of momentum. These cars are going to push as hard as they can, but you got some fresh tires on the 2. And I know that Christian Leonard wants to snag this away. Teammates to the inside of the 10. The 5 to the bottom. Dirty air on the 18. Trying to defend it. Zier on the bottom. Not allowing the 18 to take the line that they wanted. Has to back out of it. Doing everything they can to dictate the outcome of this race. When you have 3 teammates controlling the pace in these final 11 laps, if you're a VRL driver, that's what you want to see. But it's them versus the rest of this field. This late caution puts these drivers behind the 8 ball. Look at them fan out, giving dirty air to all 3 lanes. On board with Hawthorne. Wide open, 231 miles per hour into 3. Linworth, the leader, with 10 to go. Now 9 left. 3 wide again into 1 and 2. How many more times can they get away with it? Zier going to peek to the inside. A late apex into 1 and 2. All the way on the bottom. Almost slides up into the 99. They hold on for another lap. Those desperation moves will get worse as the run goes on. Hawthorne with a big run. Gonna look inside. Has to back out of the throttle. We'll pick up 1 spot. Sideways, a little wiggle. Holds on to it. Birkenbauer with the lead. The 3 wide not working as much as it was. Now you got to take another stab at it. VRL has done a great job. A new line here to the outside. Late apex. Back to the drawing board. But control that top spot. Trade it amongst yourselves and run it out 3 wide. A little bit of race manipulation with 6 left. Another big run here from Hawthorne. Gonna take it all the way to the outside. We get around the 5. We're going to break up the tandem. Excellent drive there by the 18 of Hawthorne. Going to peak middle. Going to peak outside. High line through 3 and 4. It's back and forth here for the lead. Oh man, is it close here with the 99. High line for the 18, all the way up near the wall. Trying to break up these VRL cars. It's going to be tough to do it. Needs some help on the back end from the 89. That momentum swing back and forth. Now here comes the 2, 4 to go. We're going to keep it here on the blimp camera for these closing laps. Push up the racetrack for the 18. Now the 89 going to try. Zier looks wide. A lot of friends up here in the top 5. And when it comes to a race win with 3 to go, this is where you got to push it. 2 to the bottom. Leonard gonna try the luck. Has to back out of the throttle. Zier on the outside, no help. Contact in the background, car on the wall. It's the 18 of Hawthorne. Two left for Kirkenbauer. Clinworth. Stellar. The 10, the 99, and the 5. Controlling this race. Doing the impossible and giving dirty air. The 5 of Stellar has been stellar. Defending it for his teammates. White flag in the air one more time. 2 miles left for Michigan. It's down to the 99, the 5, and the 10. It's everyone for themselves coming into 1 and 2. A dive to the inside. The 5's tired of defending. He'll take the middle. A big run for Stellar. He'll have the lead going into 3. Will he get the drive off? He'll have to pinch. Gets a little drafting help. And through 3 and 4. 3 wide at the line in less than 1,000th of a second. Kirkenbauer by 2 thousandths at the tie for second spot. Photo finish for the top 3. And after the redemption that we talked about, Indy Kirkenbauer is going to get it done. Let's take it back on an instant replay and watch the finish to this race. Coming up to the white flag here. 99 of Clinworth had the lead. 5 is going to look to the outside. Gonna dive to the middle on the backstretch. Had the lead there briefly. And here's the finish across the stripe. We'll try to get the best angle that we can. There it is. That is as close as it gets here on V-Speed. And there is your finishing order, all separated by 2/1000ths of a second. That goes down as the closest finish in V-Speed history. I'm going to have to get a photo of that. Post-race interviews with your top three. Those drivers look like they're already doing a photo op. We got a lot to unpack here in the post-race coverage. You're watching the KAYTEE IndyCar Series presented by Mystic Racing League. Back with more on V-Speed right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
Is too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time when Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa. Juicy Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Welcome back here to Michigan International, where we saw one of the closest finishes you're ever going to see on V-Speed history. Andy Kirchenbauer, after the victory that wasn't at Indy, or at Richmond rather, Andy Kirchenbauer is going to find his way to victory lane here by 2/1000ths of a second. We have that photo here in the freeze frame, but we're going to take it here to the final race results and show you the race recap of 3 cautions and 36 lead changes at Michigan. The top 3 all VRL, and I think finally we got the numbers there. It was 2/1000ths and 4/1000ths from the lead, but 2/1000ths of a second separating each one of those drivers. That's insane. Lilac Zier are going to finish in 4th spot. Seven Hawthorne. I kept calling him Steven. It's Seven Hawthorne in the 5th spot there with Christian Leonard. And 6th spot, Mason Mitchum, Corey Kobe. Then you have Brumley in that 9th position. Michael Daly able to get back on the lead lap in 10th. 11th spot's going to go to Steven Adamson. The 81, Reggie Kime. Then the rest of these cars having problems one way or another. Mac Remini in 13th position. These cars off the racetrack with Michael Wade. Devin Lyons in the 24. You also have Jonathan Gajiri finishing 16th. John Ullman, Wesley Burke, a very early exit to this race. Tough break for the driver of the number 7. But now it's time to bring up your podium finishers in this event. The first driver that we're going to bring up into the broadcast booth is your race winner. It's going to be Indy Kirkenbauer. And Indy, I know this is one of those races where you wanted this one back. You had last week there with the restart violation. And then this is a track where anybody could win it. Anything could happen. And the VRL cars controlled the top 3 and made sure that didn't happen.
Yeah, it was just a fuel save, which, it helped us out a lot in that first stint. So we just let some other people lead so we could save fuel off of them. And we were able to get good numbers and make it farther. And that would have gone green. I think we were the only ones that were going to make it until my teammate did some things. So it was definitely a very fun race. We had a great side-by-side racing and great working together at the end. And just able to hold everybody else off.
You say side by side. We're looking at a screenshot right now of the 4,000th of a second separating the top 3. I think teammates mean a lot when you're controlling the race and you're working your strategy, you're trying to fuel save, you're doing whatever you can to make it to the end of this thing. But when that white flag comes out, you're seeing it right here on the screen. It is all for one when you come across that line.
Oh yeah, with 2 to go, we were swap drafting. So then nobody else could build up a big run, and then with 2 to go, I got 2 or 3 to go, I got a decent gap, and I decided to just keep it on the inside, and we were still able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, and yeah, it was just a really good. It was just a good race for us, and just excited for the Daytona doubleheader next week.
A lot of leagues will have everyone come back around the racetrack and pause it here on the front stretch, but that's not what you're looking at right now. That is the finish of this race. And Indy Kirkenbauer, you found victory lane in the closest finish in B Speed history. Congratulations. 37 laps led, started on the pole. Who do you got to shout out?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna shout out all my go-kart sponsors, which are BGM Marine Associates, Bayside Comfort Heating and Cooling, Make Something on YouTube, and just everybody watching the stream. Thank you for putting on the stream, and just everybody watching the stream. For me, that's watching at home, and yeah, just thanks to everybody who helps put the league on.
Appreciate you coming and talking to us. And now the asterisk is behind you from Richmond. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time, or 1 week's time, when we go to that doubleheader.
Yep, thank you.
Race winner, Indy Kirkenbauer in the number 10. Next driver we're going to pull up here is going to be John Steller. We talked to you there last week, and the victory, the surprise, whatever it was for the 5. This one is special in its own way because we have a photo finish amongst teammates here. And this was probably, in my opinion, the best race control of the outcome, you guys made sure that you were the only ones that had a chance here in the closing laps.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to hear from you again, Bradley. Just first of all, shout out to Indy and Kyle Clenworth, who goes by Clendy there. Both of them have taught me so much. So to be side by side with them at the finish of a long, chaotic race where we need to work together like that, that's exactly what I'm hoping for when I load in and imagine a result at the end of the race. So just really happy to see Indy get a win, and really proud to have Clendy at our side there because, as said, he's just taught me so much in the IndyCar, and to have him there with us, it's just an awesome finish. So just glad to see it.
It was an Indy and Clindy sandwich coming off of turn 4. You found the run down the backstretch, put your car in the middle. And, all night we saw drivers, 4 or 5 spots back get a big run and surge to the lead. But when you're coming down to the very final lap and, we've got probably 20 laps on these tires under green, how difficult is it to maintain that run and carry it across the line?
Yeah, I think it's especially difficult in the IndyCar with the hybrid boost system. You need to time your deploy. Do you want to regen on the last lap? Do you want to save your boost? It's all a big mind game with the drivers around you, even your teammates. So I did the best I could there, and Clendy obviously had the run up high to still win the race. It just didn't work out that way. So the only thing going on in my mind there is just hold my line and don't wreck my teammates. And we obviously got that done. So couldn't be more happier with the finish.
We have a few races left in the season, a doubleheader at Daytona. We also have, I believe, Milwaukee coming up, a short track that's going to challenge you drivers without the arrow. Just take us through the remainder of this season and what your confidence level is like.
Yeah, I think the doubleheader next week at Daytona has massive potential. I've never been part of anything like that in the IndyCar community. So to have a little road and then oval race together, I think is going to be really exciting. And hopefully a bunch of people show up for that. So looking forward to that first and foremost. I know we got Milwaukee. I'd say it's probably like my worst track of the bunch left. Nashville and Chicagoland are 2 bangers coming up. So I'm expecting some good racing. Tonight was obviously pretty awesome and fun to be a part of. So just really looking forward to everything. I think 7 probably has the championship locked up, but still happy to put a dent in it wherever I can, and still show that I can at least compete for the championship.
0.002 of a second between you, Kirkenbauer, and Clinworth. Anybody you got to shout out here? John Seller, while we have you in the booth.
Yeah, I got Indy and Clendy, obviously. Lilac Zier is our teammate as well back there, and Mason Mitchum, of course. They both had really good races, and we're running at the front a bunch, so it just happened to be us 3 at the front. But I think as a team, we had the overall strategy pretty down pat, and just can't thank them enough on the votive side for everything they've done for me. So just looking forward to more time with them.
Thanking the teammates. We'll see you at Daytona.
Yep, thanks, Bradley.
John Stellar, second place finisher here this evening. And one last driver to talk to in your top 3. It's going to be Kyle Clenworth, Clendy, as they call him now. And, I'm new to this. This is my second race ever, but you guys put on a show. I mean, that doesn't happen at Michigan. I've never seen teammates do what you guys did here tonight. You made sure that no one else was going to contest you. And again, looking at this finish, it is the closest I've ever seen it. I couldn't tell. iRacing didn't know who won this race, and you had that run on the outside. What a fantastic show.
Oh, thanks, Bradley. Glad to entertain you on your first time out here. Show you some of the best oval racing there is in the world, and I just love this IndyCar, and I'm glad we could execute and lock out a top 4 cars for between Lilac, me, John, and Indy, all kind of racing for the same team.
So here's the situation. You go back 20 laps, led. You started in second, but you know that Kirkenbauer and Stellar, they're going to work with you up to a point. And that 2 to go mark, it seemed to be the point where they said, okay, we're going to do what we need to do individually. How did you feel about that? And did you have the same mindset?
Well, I said that I was good to swap to the very end, and in fact, I even let John swap with me on the backstretch on the last lap because I figured if I slung him forward far enough, he would give me enough of a run that I could get them both, and I was almost right. I needed maybe 10 more feet, and I think I win the race, but I didn't have 10 more feet, and could have done it a little bit differently. Held John and Indy both a little closer or tighter. I think if I had pinched Indy down in 1 and 2, it would have been really difficult for him to win. But then John would have the same run I had, and maybe he would have done it right. Who knows? But just really incredible close racing. Indy stopped swapping with 3 to go, and I razzed him a little bit for that. But he got the win, and tip my cap to him. He did a good job and managing his fuel and managing his race pace. So, we all kind of just sat there and saved until we knew we could go full push, and then that last run had a caution right in the middle of it that helped everybody who couldn't make it, and then that just made it more entertaining, right? It gave us more people to hold off at the end and really use that teamwork to block out the top 4.
Kyle, I'm sure we're going to talk to you again based off of the way you got around here tonight. We have a doubleheader at Daytona on the road course and in the oval. But until we get to that point, who do you have to shout out?
Well, just Ricky Paz. I'm here filling in the 99. He just let me put a new wrap on the car tonight. He couldn't make the race, and I want to make sure he could pick up some points in this machine. So a little bit of a cross-team fill-in. So thanks to Shane Coker, who runs the Votive Racing League. We'll be running our own doubleheader at Texas Motor Speedway this coming Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. So make sure to tune into that on P1 Broadcasting. And if you like energy drinks and drink supplements, you can check out with my code ClendySendy at advance.gg for 10% off your orders. And of course, shout out to my mom, who's my biggest fan, watching right behind me, and my cousin Craig, who runs Segerman Farms. Thanks for running the podcast, Bradley. I appreciate being here, and thanks to all the league admins who let me fill in last minute for Ricky.
Thank your mom first next time, Clendy.
I thank her first all the time. She knows she's my number one. So even if she's the caboose. So thanks, man. I'll catch you later.
Appreciate it. Kyle Clintonworth, great race, and we'll see you. This has been another great production here on V-Speed. If you enjoyed tonight's action, there's no shortage of it. We got plenty of racing left to be done. The schedule as follows. It's been revised as we go through deeper into the season. The Monday change has made it even better. It's going to be August 10th at Daytona International up next. The road course doubleheader for the oval on August 17th, and the Milwaukee Mile Chicagoland Speedway on August 24th, and Nashville Super Speedway on August 31st. Hope you can catch all that action here on V-Speed. That's going to do it here for the KAYTEE IndyCar Series. For everyone at V-Speed that helps put this all together, Gordon Cook, Logan Threlkeld, Eddie Smith, Adam Baker for everything that he does. This is Bradley Cooper saying so long, and special thanks to Dougie Beer for these custom cameras to give us that photo finish across the line. Stay tracking, everybody.